Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm sharing with you my strategy for Turkey. Now I'm very excited about this. I have been working on this strategy for several weeks and I think this is my best strategy yet. We're not just going to succeed with Turkey, we're going to thrive and we're going to make Turkey one of the great powers in the game. Moreover, this is probably one of the most Machiavellian strategies I came up with, so that's another reason I'm very excited to share this with you. I will just tell you in advance that we are going for fascist Turkey. I tried non-aligned Ottoman Empire Turkey, but I didn't like it as much. So we're going for fascist Turkey and we're going to use our focuses to work around guarantees and to expand as much as possible before joining World War II. But I don't want to give you too many spoilers, so just watch the video and see what happens. Of course, we're starting in 1936 and we're going for historical AI focuses. We're not going for Iron Man. Now, the first part of the strategy is very passive. It will be a while before we start fighting our first real war. So, in the description of this video, you can find a list of focuses and researches in chronological order. So, I will not include them in the actual video, except for the most relevant ones. I'm going to train all of my armies from the very start. In terms of production, we're going full guns. And we're going to assign our only dockyard to convoys. We start with full infrastructures in Izmir. Before unpausing the game, I'm also going to change the occupation law to local police force. But I'm actually going to change it in Kurdistan to martial law. Finally, I'm going to change the priority to green for garrisons and red low priority for upgrades. As for the focuses, as I said, we're going to go down the fascist path, which means the right side here. Okay, the first series of events comes right after the first focus. Now, what you want to do here is no settlements. You want to fight the Soviets. They will not actually declare war to you. They never did in my games. If they do, I guess that's an early restart. So again, you will insist that you don't accept the settlement. And this is the usual outcome. You win, you get a shitload of political power, and you gain base stability plus 15%, which is huge. Now, we're going to use this political power right away to get a silent workhorse. Next, we want the captain of industry as soon as we can. And there we go, we get our captain of industry. Now, as we get free civilian factories, we're going to build more infrastructures in Istanbul. Okay, as you unlock ratify the 6 arrows, make sure to start nationalism for war support. In terms of focuses, we are going to rush cooperate with the Debt Council in order to get free trade. Okay, now we have enough political power to get partial mobilization. As we get free civilian factories, we're going to build more civilian factories in Izmir and Istanbul. It's important to build there because we have a bonus to construction speed. We're going to get army maneuver for the extra army experience gain. Here you may get the extra research slot, but I decided to go for fascist faster. That's more beneficial in my opinion. So we are going for revive the Turkish revolutionism. Since we cannot fully take advantage of the civil war in Spain, I'm going to get a Chief of Air Force early on for some extra air experience. As you get to 35 army experience, it's of great value to get the Spirit Professional Officer Corps. On free civilian factories, build more civilian factories in Izmir and Istanbul. Build even more after getting dispersed industry. If you can, get the infantry expert before retiring Atatürk. Get revolutionism for extra fascism support, and republicanism for extra stability. On free Civ, we're going to build in Trabzon, infrastructures and full Civ. At this point, we are also going to send our volunteers. I prepared an army of 8. It is the maximum we can send. We will also send air volunteers, but for some reason I cannot usually send my planes. With the volunteers in Spain, you want to attack in places where you have the debuff, because we want the war to last as long as possible. So right now I see the debuff here. I'm going to attack from this side. This is also a good time to take the bold attack spirit in case our general levels up. Okay, as Atatürk gets sick, you want to retire him. You want to use republicanism basically on cooldown because we're going to struggle a lot with stability. When possible, trigger another revolutionism for extra fascist support. Now, our next goal is to take Fatherland first, but since we locked the fascist support for now, we're going to go for learning from the Great War first. When you get the message for doctrines available, always remember to take the spirits first. Leave the last slot for Army Command free, for the military spirits free, but you can take the Air Force Command ones. Air Doctrine cost and centralized control are the best in my opinion. Do not take the Land Doctrine yet. Okay, after learning from the Great War, we want to get Fatherland first, but you will need to wait a little bit because we'll not have 30% support at the beginning. We are at 29.39. You can afford to wait 10 days before selecting the national focus, so we're going to wait until we get over 30. It will be closer, like now. We probably need to wait a little bit longer. You may lose a day or two. And there we go, we can get Fatherlands first. As we get free civilian factories, we're going to build more military factories everywhere, including Trabzon. So we're going to decrease the civilian factories to only one in Trabzon, and we're going to build more military factories in there. We're going to take nationalism. Now, here we want to pay attention because it's almost time for action. As this focus is about to end, when it has about 10 days left, we're going to start justifying on the Kingdom of Greece. At the same time, we're going to plan our naval invasion. We're going to use this army of 10. We're going to start a naval invasion from Izmir. For the naval invasion, you can use whichever strategy you want, but what I like doing is I send 3 here. 3 here. 3 here. The last one here. Make sure to prepare your fleet to support the naval invasion. Meanwhile, the civil war in Spain is over, and we got more civilian factories. We're going to build infrastructures and military factories in Edirne. Okay, we basically have 10 days left on the focus, so we're going to start justifying on Greece. So why do we need to wait for the focus? Actually, the important focus is the next one, reconfigure Turkish foreign policy. And the reason is we're going to lose the guarantee from Romania when we get this focus. The mechanic in the game is when we declare war to Greece, technically they are guaranteed by Romania, so they would join the war against us, and we want that to happen. The thing is, Romania is also guaranteeing our independence, and when this is the case, they would not join the war against us. So we want to get rid of their guarantee, and the only way to get rid of their guarantee is by taking this focus. Now we're going to take advantage of this mechanic even more later, and this is the most Machiavellian part of the strategy. Now we'll also take war economy at this point as soon as we have enough political power. When we get 3 military factories, we're going to start producing some support equipment. We're going to increase it to 4. I will also take revolutionism for the extra stability. As soon as we start the war, our stability is going to drop. So next we're going to go for the Anglo-Turkish agreement. And the idea is that by doing that, we'll get a guarantee from the United Kingdom, which means we will be able to ignore guarantees from the United Kingdom. So since our goal is to expand in the Balkans, being able to ignore the guarantees from the United Kingdom is going to be extremely useful. Now, if you have enough political power at this point, I suggest taking the military theorist and start working on superior firepower. This is the best doctrine for Turkey, in my opinion. After you take the first one, I suggest you get the smoke and fire spirit as well. You can also change the preferred tactic to suppressive barrage. Okay, we got our claim on Greece. I will not cover this war in detail because it's fairly simple. I will just talk about a couple of tricks. So I like to leave my mountaineers up here and attempt a push to Thessaloniki. The main naval invasion will try to take Athens, and then I will use the volunteers which we sent to Spain previously to conquer Crete. The 3 divisions that you send here, you can use 2 of them to conquer all of these regions. And you can use the last one to push Athens even more. Now, as soon as the naval invasion is done, you can start planning the other one. I suggest you do it in groups of 2 to plan it a bit faster. Now, as the Greeks remove divisions from up here, you can start pushing with your mountaineers. As soon as the focus is done, you should still be at war with Greece. Start justifying on Yugoslavia. Now we can start taking some focuses related to our armies. In all of the peace conferences, it's very important that you take their navy, prioritize that, and then you puppet everything and take war reparation and resource rights. Our next target is Yugoslavia, but there is a chance that Yugoslavia is guaranteed by someone which is not the UK. If it's the UK, we're not going to care. If it's Czechoslovakia, we're not going to care. But if it is France, we're going to change our plans and we're going to attack Bulgaria first. In the meantime, however, we're going to prepare our naval invasion. We're going to use our most experienced troops. We're planning the invasion from here. This is a tricky invasion. I'm sending 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and the last one here. As for the remaining divisions, temporarily we are going to leave them at this border, on this front, but we're not going to call Greece into this war. We also want to protect the front against Bulgaria, because we will be at war with Bulgaria eventually. At this point, we want to start making some artillery. So we're going to start making artillery and we're going to start making anti-air. We will assign 3 military factories to each of these things, prioritizing artillery over anti-air. As you get modernizing the armies, the focus, we want to activate modernize our tactics as soon as possible, because plus 8% division organization is huge. So as soon as you get 50 political power, make sure to get it. Now at this point, we want to build 2 infrastructures in Bursa and 1 in Antalya. And the reason we are doing this will be clear a bit later. But trust me, it's the right thing to do. At this point we can start assigning all of our future military factories to towered artillery. We want to have as much artillery as possible, so assign everything here. Leave the other ones at 3. As you get mechanizing our army, make sure to use it right away for the engineer company 1. Okay, we got our claim on Yugoslavia, nobody guaranteed them, so we can start our war against Yugoslavia. Make sure not to call allies, we don't want Greece in this war. As you start the war against Yugoslavia, you can also start justifying against Bulgaria. Okay, now we're ready for our naval invasion, but we're going to wait a little bit because we want these units to be a bit better equipped before we start the invasion. We want as many of their divisions to be down here, so that they will not be able to defend the naval invasion. Now the first thing we want to give our units is an engineer company and a support artillery company. I also want them to have some support anti-air. Now, as true Machiavellians, we're going to get friendly with all of the great powers. So now we're going to get a guarantee from the German Reich as well. This is also why we built those infrastructures early on. With the Claudius Agreement, we're going to get full infrastructures and 2 military factories in those 2 provinces. On 3 civilian factories, you can start building military factories in Bursa and in Antalya. Let's get some more republicanism. Okay, so Bulgaria was guaranteed by Czechoslovakia, but we don't care about Czechoslovakia, so we can start the war against Bulgaria. In this case, we're only going to start the war, we are not going to attack them. We just want to defend this front. Okay, now that the Yugoslavian army is focused down here, and as we got our support companies on these divisions, we want their combat strength to be pretty high, and then we can finally start the naval invasion. Now, this is a tricky naval invasion, so we need to be careful here. Depending on how the naval invasion is going, you may want to use the force attack command. It's actually going pretty well, so we may not need it. You can try to take all of the ports down here. If you can take the entire coastline, of course, that's going to be beneficial. At this point, you can also assign the other army of 10 to this one. So we want all of our infantry, good infantry, up here. Now, as we unlock trucks, we may want to produce a few of them. I would set it to 2. And I would make sure that they are being built. At this point, you can also change the motorization priority on our main army to 3. Okay, we got the whole coastline. I'm very satisfied with this. Now, generally speaking, you want to expand on this side first because there are more supplies here. Now, as we fulfilled our support companies, the next upgrade we are going to make to our divisions is quite important. We want them to have 3 units, 3 battalions of artillery. And now we're going to be friends with the Soviets as well. We're going to build infrastructures and full military factories in Malatya. We're going to let Yugoslavia burn some more of their manpower as we get more artillery into our divisions. Ideally, I want to start my offensive when the anti-air is almost entirely filled. That should happen around spring, so it's pretty ideal. Now, the reason we became friends with the Soviets as well is that this is a Batumi Accord, is another pretty good buffs to our infrastructures and buildings. Okay, no more snow. It means we can start our offensive. Now, with the army experience we have, we can start adjusting a little bit our defensive units as well. First of all, I want them to have a combat width of 10. And then I would like them to have at least the engineer company support. Do not accept the invitation from Germany. We don't want to be part of their faction. Otherwise, everything will get messed up with the allies. When you get new guns, you may want to re-increase the gun production to 5 with the next factories we get. You can manually try to take the coastline to speed this up a little bit. Okay, it's good to save some political power, because from time to time you will get these negative events, and I would suggest taking the last option. It will overall increase our stability at the end. When you get dispersed industry, make sure to build military factories everywhere. And to prioritize their construction. Now up here, if you want, you can try to get an encirclement of the divisions that they have here. If you want to do that, I suggest you try to do it manually, like this. Okay, this actually went very well. And as we get superiority of arms, we can start researching the artillery upgrades. Now we start going down this path because we want to get the technology bonus or research speed bonus for our fighters. The encirclement up here, if you can get it, it's going to destroy them completely. By the way, we were very lucky with this general. 9 attack. Not going to complain, boys. If we can capitulate Yugoslavia before getting to the border with Romania, that's probably better. Now we need to be ready, because as soon as Yugoslavia goes down, we are in a lot of trouble. We'll have to protect the front against Bulgaria and the one against Romania. Okay, careful with Yugoslavia. Again, priority is the navy, so take the navy first, then puppet everything, then take the resource, war reparations and resource rights. Now pause the game immediately, because now we're in a bit of trouble. At this point, ideally, we want to capitulate Bulgaria. At this point, we can start justifying on Hungary. And we can call Greece into this war. This will allow us to push from the south as well. And World War II started. We're not quite ready for it yet, but we will be. And now we're going to wait for the focus before we take our improved small airframe. Okay, as Bulgaria goes down, you already know the deal. Now, ideally, we want to take Bucharest and the eastern part of Romania as fast as possible. If you can get across the river, then the war is going to be a bit easier. The Romanian army is pretty strong, but they are not strong enough to hold such a big front, so they're going to struggle with it. Okay, now we can take our improved small airframe. Now, I usually go down this path for Salt the Scores of the Great War. At this point, the focuses are quite flexible. You may want to complete these ones to get rid of the maluses for your army. This is pretty good as well. You may also want to go down this path if you plan to join the Allies. Approve the Funk plan is also pretty good, so a few options available here. Now we got the claim on Hungary. We cannot use it yet because we need to take care of Romania first. Oh, and as we finished, I'm actually a bit late, as we finished producing our artillery. Well, first of all, we're going to produce some trucks, but in addition to that, I want to train 4 more good divisions and a lot more not so good divisions. 19 for now. We also want to give some not so good divisions the support artillery and the support anti-air. We're going to start justifying on Spain at this point. We also want to get the agency at this point. Let's try to rush closure, because I think we can end this war. Let's see the situation. Okay, yeah, we do need to take closure. Now, on free civilian factories, again, we have a few options, provided that we have full military in all of our 100% regions. Now, if you're going to play World War II against Germany, which is what I suggest doing after the end of the tutorial, that will not be included in the tutorial, I suggest you start building some land forts at the border between Yugoslavia and Germany, right here. I would probably start with 3 in each of these regions. And additionally, I would build 1 at the regions, on the regions bordering Italy. These should be the end of the war. Usual stuff, don't forget to take the navy. Now we're going to start getting ready for Hungary. I'll wait until the organization is up and then we're going to start this offensive. Hungary is usually not much of an issue. As we get the agency, we are going to go for the naval department first, because the naval invasion against Spain can be a little bit tricky. So we're going to use our spy in Spain, and we're going to try to increase the naval supremacy. Okay, I think we can go for Hungary. Romania and Yugoslavia need to be part of this war. We can maybe take Budapest since there is nobody defending. It should be pretty much over. Yeah, it's over. Okay, Hungary is not a big deal, as I said. Going to puppet them. That's right. Operations. That's it. Okay, now we are basically waiting for our claim on Spain, and this is the tricky part. We need to get the naval invasion done. Our fleet is okay-ish, but it's not the best. So this naval invasion sometimes doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, we're going to have to wait a little bit, work around it a bit, until we are able to finally start the naval invasion. So this is a tricky part of the run, I would say. Okay, we got the claim on Spain. Now we're going to start claiming Iraq. Now for this naval invasion, I like to go for Barcelona. I'm going to send another 3 divisions down here to stop their reinforcements. Another 3 up here. And the last one to Girona. The only issue is that probably we're not going to have the naval superiority, but we'll see. Okay, let's get our spy and send it to Spain. Naval department is down. We're going to keep expanding the agency. We may be able to get a collaboration government on Germany later on in World War II. Okay, our naval invasion is ready. I will start the war against Spain, and I'm pretty sure we will not have the naval invasion, the naval superiority required. Oh, we do. Do we? We don't. We do. Okay, that's nice. Now, sometimes you don't have it, and if you do not have it, you need to use your spy on Spain for a little bit before you get it, and possibly you can use your planes to get even more. But it's very good that we got it right away, so this will make things a little bit easier. Now, Spain can be a bit of a pain in the ass to conquer, so don't underestimate them. Okay, now when France goes down and Germany forms Vichy France, if the original France, the real France, had guaranteed Yugoslavia or Bulgaria, this would be the time where you actually conquer them. You wait for France to go down and then you attack them. You cannot do it before that because otherwise France will join and then they would join the Allies and then you would be fucked. We were lucky, France didn't guarantee anyone, so we were able to conquer entirely the Balkans before that. But even if they do, it's not a deal, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if they guaranteed, say, Bulgaria, you could start a naval invasion of Romania around here. You could conquer Romania from Yugoslavia, so you have several options. Okay, perfect. We disembarked in Spain. Now we can send over our divisions, and the idea, the first goal is to take this part of Spain. Now we want to send over these divisions, actually, to protect the coastline, because Spain likes to arrange naval invasions to reclaim their territory, so more free civilian factories. Let's expand the force a little bit more here. We want to have at least 5. Now, I usually like to make another smaller army of defensive divisions, an army of 10 at this point. Oh, I forgot the planes. Okay. We need to make planes. Don't forget, like I did. Usual design. Now we're going to prioritize fighters above everything else. We're still going to keep 4 factories on improved artillery, but actually let's also give 1 more to improved anti-air. But fighters are our highest priority at the moment. You will need to readjust trade a little bit. Okay, now we got the claim on Iraq, and we're going to start our war against Iraq. And at the same time, we are also going to start justifying Iran. For the next push, we want to take the northern part of Spain. Now, when you get the rocket artillery, start making it. I would assign 4 to rocket artillery. So we actually want rocket artillery support companies in our divisions. Okay, as you finish claiming Iran, you can start claiming Portugal. Okay, now we got Iraq. Of course, the usual stuff. And we can start getting ready for Iran. Okay, see, now the UK guaranteed Portugal, but it doesn't matter because they are not going to join the war against us. Okay, we got the claim on Porto. Time to start getting ready for Portugal. And I believe we're ready for Iran. So let's start the war against Iran. Need to call Iraq into this war. I'm sure they will not mind. Now, at this point, the tutorial is almost over, because as we get Portugal, Spain, and Iran, that's the guaranteed part of the tutorial. Now, Vichy France may be cool as well, so that's another option. In order to get Vichy France, however, we need to join the German Reich. We need to join that faction. Otherwise, when you declare war to Vichy France, the German Reich will actually... well, they will call the German Reich. They will join the Axis, and you will be fucked. So if you want Vichy France, if you think you have enough time, you need to join the Axis to do so. For now, I'm going to stick to the original part of the tutorial. But we can start getting a claim since we have a core state. Okay, and let's declare war to Portugal. Okay, and Portugal is done. Of course, remember to take the navy. Then we puppet them. And we take everything, and then we remove the war reparation from Madeira, otherwise we don't have enough points. And Spain is done. Same thing, we take the navy. Okay, now Iran is taking a bit longer than I would like them to, but it's okay. Let's see if we can rush Iran. At this point, I would also change the conscription law to extensive conscription. Okay, at this point, I would max out the force there, but Iran, of course, decided to go down right now. Well, no problem. We're going to puppet, get resources, and war reparations, and Iran is done. Now, land forts here to maximum. Okay, boys, so we are officially not at war. World War II is ongoing. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen next. This is the end of the tutorial. I'm very satisfied with this situation. I mean, with Turkey, we were able to conquer not only all of the Balkans, we got Spain, we got Portugal, we got Iraq and Iran. We're not at war with any major nation, and we still have multiple choices in front of us. So we can do basically whatever we want from here. Now, what I usually do is I usually wait a bit longer, and then Italy in October declares war to the Hellenic state automatically. So at that point, we start a war against Italy. The German Reich soon joins Italy, so we're at war with Italy and the German Reich. Oh, that's more or less fine though, because they will declare war to the Hellenic state, not to Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia will not be at war with anyone. But the reason we built the forts up here is that later on, whenever we're ready, we're going to call Yugoslavia into this war. We're going to set up our defensive line here. We're going to let the German army crush on us. They have pretty bad terrain, river crossing, so they are going to die on our forts here. Meanwhile, with our main army, we're going to take... well, this part of Italy is already taken. Usually this is the first part we take, Albania. We're going to take Italy, conquer this part of Italy here. We're going to conquer this part of Italy here. Then we're going to start a naval invasion on the southern part of Italy. And we're going to capitulate Italy. From there, we will slowly advance against the German Reich. We'll wait for them to be at war with the Soviet Union as well. And we end the war by killing the German Reich with about 30 to 40% of the overall war score. That's what I usually do. You still have other choices at this point of the game. If you want, you can join the Axis right now. I could do it right now. Join faction. I can take Vichy France very quickly from them. And then I can still either leave the faction or stay in the faction so that Italy doesn't declare war on Greece, but still not join their war against the Allies. Or I can join the war against the Allies. I can use my fleet to try and invade the United Kingdom. Anyway, as I said, at the end of this tutorial, you're extremely powerful with Turkey. We got something like 200 factories. This is similar to what Germany and Italy have at this point of the game. So by all means, we are one of the great powers right now. We have many choices in front of us. I think I will make a save here, and I will try both scenarios. So one in which we go for Germany, one in which we go for Vichy France, one in which we stay with the Allies. I don't know, we'll try different things, but I mean, the tutorial is here. You can experiment from this point. I think this is really, really good for Turkey. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide. There are a couple of tricky points. Not everything goes smoothly all the time, but if you have troubles, if something goes wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will try to help you out. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. A lot of work went into this guide. Everything was planned very carefully. The timing is like very precise. So I would really appreciate if you showed, well, that you enjoyed the video, that you appreciated the work I have done. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.